Welcome to Coffee and a Chat. And it's Doug and...
For Tara's Films.
And we're going to talk about a kind of a hot topic right now. The gray zones have, here in Ontario, Toronto, Peel, we've been modified to allow us to have patio dining.
Right.
So patio dining is now in effect in these areas, but here's the issue that I have a concern with, and I wanted to talk to you about it. Cases are on the rise. Today it was 1,700 and...
I think it was 1,800, wasn't it? Or was it 1,700? It was either 1,800 or it was 1,790 or something.
So the cases are back on an uptick, and...
They've said we're in a third wave.
So the question is...
Did the second wave end?
When?
When?
When did the second wave end?
I don't know.
2, is this a good idea to open up the patios for restaurants when our case numbers are on the upswing again? Personally, it's like a catch-22. You want to see the businesses survive and thrive. Yes. But is this a good idea to do this in the time when now the cases are swinging back upwards? We now have the COVID variants on the playing field, and
actually right now they're saying it's the B117, which is the British or the UK variant, is actually accounting for about 54% of cases right now. So they've actually taken over from the original strain, which they said it would do.
And we've seen that they said by April this
will be the dominant.
dominant.
And at 54%, it kind of has become the dominant.
So the thing is this like a loaded gun? You know.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, now, it's only been Peel and Toronto, I think, and not sure. I think York's in the red zone now, but that have been still in the gray lockdown. Now,
yes.
I know since then there's been more, like the end of last week, that are going back into the gray lockdown. There's about 2 or 3 other regions now going back into it. But it's pretty much been since like the last couple weeks where we've been the only ones in the gray lockdown.
Yes.
So everyone else has been able to do indoor dining, patio, and all that. So now, because especially Mississauga's been pushing to go into the red zone because our numbers haven't been as bad as Brampton's have been. But they said, no, we don't want that just yet.
Yeah.
Going to keep in the gray lockdown, but we will modify some things. So, which brought in the patio dining. Like we've said before, restaurants have never been a big, strong driver of this. So
no, that's true.
They've accounted for a very small portion. So I don't know if it's huge risk to have patio dining. Now, in the red zones, what they've also done is modified how many can eat inside the restaurant. So instead of only 10 inside, restaurants can do for 25% capacity or 50% capacity. So that could be up to 50 people in a big restaurant and up to 100, I think, outside, I think. Something like if you've got a big patio, that kind of thing. So I don't know if that's such a great idea.
Well,
but I think, I don't know, you're going to find people of two minds of this, and a lot of the experts are actually against this.
Yes.
And saying, we're having an increase, we just declared a third wave, and yet here, let's have more options to spread it.
Of course.
So, especially considering that the variants are more transmissible, and now they're proving to be more deadly, and it's not just to the vulnerable.
No.
Doctors are saying they're seeing more and more and more young people and previously healthy with no other underlying cause being admitted to hospital now. So
this is the concerning point that I want to make. We've started to see schools have started to upswing again.
Oh yeah. Right now there's over 1,000 SMUD cases in schools. alone.
So, when do we... It's a balancing act. I understand that. It's you want to have people safe, but you also want to have people live,
right?
And you want to see your businesses thrive. There's no real happy median in this, Like we discussed last week, people need to kind of follow guideline and do what they're supposed to do,
which has been an ongoing problem.
Ongoing situation.
The problem, it's been an ongoing problem. Now, people were actually doing and following the guideline. Now, majority of people are. Like, where we are, we're not seeing that many people who are not going around en masse or going into stores masse, all that kind of stuff. I mean, even when you're walking down the sidewalk, people will actually walk on the road to get away from you. So, and that's not actually even, when they talk about close contact, they're not talking about passing people on the sidewalk. Because you're passing less than a second.
Yes.
So I highly doubt you're going to get sick from passing on a sidewalk.
No.
What they're saying when they talk about close contact, it's indoors.
Face to face.
With face to face, no mask. At least 15 minutes with somebody. It's not passing on a sidewalk less than a second. But, you do you. If you want to walk on the road, you go for it. So, but... it's the ones that are not following the rules. So and we're not talking like small businesses, because most of them are actually following the rules. Mm-hmm. It's like places like Amazon, like the one in Brampton was just shut down because they had a massive outbreak going on there. So there's obviously non-compliance at that workplace.
We had...
same with Gateway, Mississauga, Canada Post. Did the same thing. And there's been there's ongoing issues there. And then also the schools are a driving factor. And also there's still parties going on. They're, like last weekend... they just broke up a St. Patrick's Day party. Big parties are still going on. So that's what's driving this. And now, if people actually didn't do that, these small businesses wouldn't be suffering. You can have your haircuts that people have been complaining about, that they're not getting their haircuts. Well, they can't open because you're in too close proximity with them. So if you didn't go party it up with friends, or if Amazon actually followed the rules and had the mask up and everything else, so you're not being fined by a lot of officers, well, maybe then you can get your haircut, in your region, kind of thing, because the numbers would be under control.
See, there's also an issue, region hopping.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem. Yeah.
We're in the gray zone here. Somewhere else with
right beside us is Oakville.
Oakville.
They're in the red.
They're in the red. So if I can't get my hair cut here,
I'll go there.
I'll go there.
We're not doing that, just to clarify. But what some people are doing.
And see, this just causes a whole cornucopia of problems.
Right.
And people are, I'm COVID exhausted. I'm exhausted by the lockdown. I'm exhausted by...
everybody is.
Everyone is. But now, more than ever, is the time where we really have to knuckle down.
Right.
We really have to stay the course. Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially now that the vaccines are starting to roll out more.
Yes.
And now, supposedly, we're supposed to be getting about 1 million vaccines a week of I think all of them. And so, I mean, if they're starting to ramp up, why do you want to keep jeopardizing it?
Well, that's it.
And so that we can actually have a summer. What we do now is going to affect what we have in the summertime.
And that has been the Pied Piper song of the government all year. Right. What we do now affects later down the road.
Right.
How you behave now affects what happens in your home. It's the same song and dance, but everyone's kind of like, okay.
Well, we've been hearing since last
March. But everyone seems to be tuning that out and going,
right.
I want to live, I want to do this.
I want to live, it's my right, yada, yada,
yada. Yada, yada, yada.
But here's the thing, you can cry and scream about your rights all you want. It's not going to change what the government does.
No.
It's not going to change what health officials say.
No.
So instead, why I don't understand the whole concept of why people think it's the media that's lying to them. It's not necessarily just from the media site. Look at government sites. Well, apparently you don't trust government either. So, I mean, it's not going to change what they do anyway. So, you're still going to get locked down. Your businesses are still not going to be able to operate. So, if you act why not just give it a try?
Yeah.
Try doing what they're asking you to do. See what the numbers do, and then maybe everybody can actually have a good summer this year.
Well, that's it. That's it. And
just try. Try. Give it a shot.
Give it a shot. See what happens. When you look at other countries that have done a more aggressive approach and the populace have fallen in line, look, they're back to living their lives.
Yeah, but see, this is what, if people are saying, oh, it's they're trying to take away our rights, they're trying to take over the whole global thing. Well, okay, just look on YouTube and look at Japan vloggers, look at Australian vloggers. What are they doing? They're actually living their lives. You know why? Because they followed their government's advice, followed their health officials' advice, and now, they're getting to go to concerts and stuff like that because they got their numbers under control. And then if there is flare-ups, they just lock at that particular region down, not the entire province or state or country. It's that region that gets locked down.
Exactly.
For maybe 2 weeks. That's it. Not 5 months. Like Ontario has been, especially the GTA. And maybe we could have concerts in the summertime.
So,
like they can.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm glad to see the restaurants are open back up.
Yeah. I doubt they're going to be open for that long.
That's what I was just going to say. I don't see them lasting for long.
No. Not in our region, anyway.
Not in this region. Do I see another lockdown?
Yeah.
Coming?
And they're already talking about schools closing again. So.
Yes, I see it coming.
Yeah. So I just don't see the restaurants staying open that long.
And
at least for patio dining.
And the reason I say this, it's in the numbers. It's you see that upswing of the numbers that shows people aren't caring enough.
They're still carrying on.
And if you, like we're saying, the restaurants are here, let's keep them here. Let's do what we need to do to keep the patios open.
Then okay, you want the patios open? Stop having parties at your house. Go into stores, whether you like it or not, with the mask on. Stop at workplaces, managers, owners, or whatever. Those that are the problem. Now, they're not all the problem, but the ones that are, do what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
So that we can get the numbers under control, so that restaurants can stay open with their patio, so that hair salons can open up. I mean, this isn't rocket science.
No.
Let's, if you just do it like you were saying, if you want this to happen, follow the health guidelines.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can have the patios open, and maybe all regions can have indoor dining even.
Folks, what we're trying to say is, let's bring common sense back to the table. Right. Let's all be grown up.
And let's stop with the whole it's fear mongering and that people who want to do this are living in fear. They're not. They're just trying to live by common sense.
It's like
so that we can go back to normal.
The time, enough is enough. Let's all be adults now. Let's get our act together. Let's get the job done.
Right.
Because there's people that have family that they haven't seen.
Right.
And if we do the job we need to do, we can do that. We can have our lives back again.
Right.
We'll see in the coming days whether our predictions are going to be true.
We'll see. I think so.
Give us a shout out at the email at cupofjoechat@gmail.com and let us know what you think. Thank you so much for coming and talking about this topic again. And
we'll see you next week.
Just be safe, guys, and we will see you next week. Take care.
Take care, guys. Bye.